me see that thong. Baby, that thong, 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 thong.
Hello everyone, Skippy here, and welcome to One Piece episode 992. Directed by Toshihiro Maeda from Yutaka Nakashima and Komaki's board and supervised by Shinichi Suzuki. While there may be some small and slightly off-model art courtesy of the outsourcing studio, there's actually a fair bit of drawings from our supervisors here that look pretty good, honestly. And overall, this episode looks like it'll be a completely different beast than their usual ones on the directorial end, as director Toshihiro Maeda has been given a board from regular Yutaka Nakashima and former co-series director Komaki that looks like it'll present the big moments of this episode in a heavily impactful and vibrant way to the audience, which will certainly lay the groundwork well for Maeda, who can hopefully do it justice through his own contributions in terms of execution that most Magic Bus episodes lack. It sure won't end up being the star episode of Onigashima, but I'm still expecting more of a quality product than I usually do from the outsourcing studio that is key to the anime's production. So how exactly is 992 in the end as an outsourced episode? Time to unmask for real this time and find out. This episode covers half of page 5 and pages 6 through 17 of chapter 984. And despite some slight adaptation changes like Luffy letting Yamato know they've got 5 minutes to explain themselves in a more comedic way before they head to the roof, as well as just generally making Luffy's reaction to their face reveal a bit more puzzled and confused than shocked, as well as Momo getting generally a bit more bitey during Orochi's broadcast shit talk, which I honestly like, the episode gets by fairly well on the raw content itself and only really takes a little bit of time to expand on stuff that needed expanding or would have helped the episode a lot if it did, whether it be the missing panels as Kaido heads to the show floor or just the submarine game making it to the top and making an oath to start heading to where they need to be. Couple that with the very, very brief cutaways to past events, and I think the pacing in this episode manages to be pretty solid all things considered, and never feels like it's truly dragging outside of maybe Izo walking to Kiku, which is greatly appreciated when some episodes this arc have suffered greatly because of that. And on the whole, I'm glad that Maeda and the music selection team managed to be very particular with the tracks that they chose according to the tone. It gives a real triumphant and impactful feel to a lot of the content here, which doesn't end up feeling flaccid, which is helped a lot by the great set of storyboards that they were given. I'm honestly as surprised as you all may be that both halves of the storyboard honestly ended up complementing one another, even if one half is noticeably better. And I feel like even though they didn't take much liberty with it, that Maeda was able to successfully execute them as they are. With Nakashima's vibrant backgrounds and characters evolving into line art being once again present in the episode's first half, as well as a fair bit of surprisingly depth-based compositions from him that are accompanied by a whole lot of eye trails, and Komaki's more premium feeling second half that brings us back to when she was a series director not too long ago with depth and scale galore, but also just a whole lot of character acting in even the smallest of places to make even the smallest of scenes pop and feel bigger, as well as just downright powerful compositions and subtle symbolism through the visuals, like the light in the roof being depicted as Yamato's hope and desire to become Odin being the light in their life upon reading his journal. In terms of sheer creativity and just general aesthetic, both these boards managed to really bring home this content in their own unique ways, while still feeling individual in the end despite creating a consistent feel, which I think distracts from the small bits of fairly wonky art from Suzuki and the assistant supervisors he has on deck, even if it's mostly fine, which overall makes for a pretty solid episode. I was always afraid about what giving Magic Bus such a good board would produce, but I've never been so glad to be wrong about something, as I thoroughly enjoyed this outsourced outing despite the small nitpicks it may come with art-wise, and it gave me a Magic Bus episode that is the first one that I can say I truly love. And when heading back to in-house Toei episodes next week with Masahiro Hosoda's 993, I'm surprised at how good it looks for such a weak director on the show. Don't get me wrong, it's not like he can't produce quality, but Hosoda in Wano has missed a lot more than he has hit, and with some nice composition, scale, and pretty good lighting that services Masayuki Takagi's visceral and angular corrections well, I'm honestly kinda looking forward to this one a lot more than I was on paper when staff lists came out, so we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways guys, it's it for now, I'm Skippy, and finally Beast Pirates Robin truly made it to the screen.